Show overall in 9+ seasons, spread out over 11 years now. We're live from Alzer's Barbecue near the corner of Cypress Creek Road and Old 183, just behind the CVS there. We'll be here until 9 o'clock. Come on down and join us. With me tonight, as usual, he's the king of laces out, the former whiteout, a member of our 2010 district championship team and regional finals. He once received a standing ovation from a juror's box. He can do a wheelie on a unicycle. He doesn't often question himself, but when he does, he likes his answer. It's the donut hole. Our doctor of footballogy, there ain't no bolder holder than the wonderful Willard of Oz, lifetime Timberwolf Josh Willard.
Thank you so much, Brad. It feels good to be in the house. Am I bumped? There we go. We're bumped now. Another Timberwolf Night in America episode coming to you live from Alzer's Barbecue. The barbecue tastes delicious tonight. Come on.
Had some.
Come on down. Get you a plate and come hang out with us.
Have me a quarter pound of the moist brisket with their great sauce. Ooh,
the moist. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah. And Les Clary is our quality assurance agent tonight, closely and diligently monitoring the broadcast from that super secret, high-tech, low-maintenance, ultra-modern, technically advanced, stealthily close pinnacle of online broadcast technology that we call the Vype Studios, making sure we don't sound like a grand piano dropped onto the sidewalk. Our guest tonight will be the defensive line and their coach, Curry Reed. That'll be fun.
I love the D-line. They're the gorillas. They get after it. They're in the trenches, baby.
This year's Booster Club sponsors: Covert Ford, Alzer's Barbecue, Sewell Land Rover and Jaguar, Mission of Hope, Life Family, Reap Financial, TJ Lewis Real Estate, Raising Canes, Kathy Tam Photography. Kathy's in the house. I see her right over there. Moongear Real Estate, ROI Sport Performance and Physical Therapy, Family Emergency Room at Lakeline is a new sponsor of ours. One Stop, Rudy's Barbecue, Army Ant Moving, Majori's Firehouse Subs, and HEB. And I got to tell you, that's the most sponsors we've had in 1 year in forever.
We got a great booster club. Everybody's been getting after it.
They're getting after it. What is that? it's 18 sponsors. We usually have 7 or 8 or 9. Our new sponsor, Family Emergency Room at Lakeline, now providing free athletic clearance physicals for all athletes at Cedar Park High School and the middle school. So take advantage of that. You guys get down there, and girls, get down there and get your physicals done to Family Emergency Room of Lakeline. All right, here's what's on the menu for tonight's show. Josh is going to give our latest state of the program update, a post-mortem on the game at College Station, a glance at that game's effect on our school record book, a look at other local scores from last week and upcoming games, district standings for us, that sort of thing, a walk through the wonderful world of Willard with the Willard of Oz. Then we'll bring on tonight's guest, the D-line, for an extended visit. Then we'll play one of our traditional trivia games between two teams of D-liners, plus our new trivia game, Steal Josh's Ice Cream. And we'll wrap it all up with a preview of Hendrickson for Friday night. Now, we've come through the really tough part of our schedule, which was front-loaded with good 6A teams and the 2 College Station trips to play state-ranked district opponents. From this point, the schedule gets a bit easier. We've got 3 winnable games in a row coming up, 2 of them at home, and then the closer on the road at Georgetown, which, granted, will be more difficult than the previous 3. The point is that where we are in the standings, winning out puts us in a third-place finish behind only the 2 College Station teams, both of which barely beat us and are kind of set up to finish 1-2 at this point. That's a playoff slot at the 3 seed where we'd play 12 5As runner-up. Even if we win just 3 of these next 4 games, that puts us in 4th, still making the playoffs. And that postseason slot is our goal now. Cedar Park's been to the playoffs for 14 straight years. We cannot drop that streak now.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I'm saying there's a good chance.
I'm telling you though, the boys are playing good ball right now, and they're really coming together at the right moment. They've played both of those College Station teams really well. I know that they got off the bus ready to smack them in the mouth, and I know that both teams weren't ready for it both times. So Cedar Park gelling when they need to be. Just offensively got to pull everything together. But I mean, just like we were last year, went into the playoffs at 5-5. We're a freaking matchup nightmare because we've been there, we've done that, we know what it takes, especially when the season's on the line. And right now, the season's on the line. You got to start pushing from here.
Yep. Now Josh is going to give us our latest state of the program update.
The all-time record for Cedar Park football now at 210-82. Now 110-36 in district games, and the program is now 98-30 at home. 81-37 as the visitors, and we just need 2 more wins for our 100th home win. And we got 2 more winnable home games coming up with Hendrickson and the Leanderthals.
I expect us to get that 100th home win, and that includes the Old Bible, New Bible, and Gupton as our home venues.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Shoot for 100 in those things. All right, here we go. Plug your ears if you're faint at heart. The College Station postmortem. So this is not going to be good, but we got to do this. So we take that nearly 200-mile round trip to CSTAT for the second week in a row, this time playing the state's 4th-ranked team, a team with many returning veterans from the squad that made it to the state championship game last year and fell by 3 in overtime to the same team that 3 weeks earlier beat us by the greatest margin in our program's history. And yet College Station could barely beat us. Our defense, several of whom are in the house tonight, played absolutely superbly. The Cougars' offense averaged 45 points per game, and against the Black Rain, they could only manage 10. And this was on the heels of another stellar performance just last week against Consolidated, when that offense had been averaging 38 points a game, and against our defense got only 6. So in the last 2 weeks, our defense gave up a total of 16 points to 2 offenses that had been averaging a cumulative 83, and that is phenomenal.
Black Rain, baby.
College Station went for it 4 times on 4th down and failed.
Oh.
Plus, the Black Rain took 2 fumbles from them. The final was 17-0, but one of the Cougs' 2 touchdowns, a 55-yard pick six, scored on our offense. In fact, since the lone touchdown by Consolidated the week before, came on a 97-yard touchdown return of the second-half kickoff, our offense and special teams these last 2 weeks have given up a total of 14 points to the 2 CSTAT teams, while the defense only gave up 16. Incredibly impressive performance by the Black Rain in very tough circumstances, given that the offense in these last 6 quarters produced almost exclusively 3-and-outs every possession. The very beginning of the game was the only time that the 4th-ranked Cougars had the jump on Cedar Park. First of all, some weirdness. We won the toss and did not defer for the first time in at least a decade and probably more. We elected to receive. The Cougars immediately onside kicked and recovered the ball. 6 quick plays later, they're in the end zone. It would be their only offensive touchdown on the night. Despite rolling up some yardage totals after the first 3 minutes of the game, College Station's offense would only score 3 more points over the entire rest of the game. If we just could have had some average offensive output or even slightly below average output, this game is a win. But the offense struggled in historic proportions, and the 13 Cedar Park possessions ended in 12 punts and an interception. It was only the 7th shutout in program history, and only the 4th in the last 15 years.
I mean, that's what you loved about this defense. I mean, there were so many opportunities where they had to create sudden changes. I mean, the fact that they went 0 for 4 on 4th down conversions, that was just wild. And, I mean, just did a great job of containing that quarterback, defensively on the back end, locking up and running with these guys in coverage. I mean, defensively, you couldn't have asked for a better game, and that's where offensively they are so young. This from the offensive line to the receiving core to the quarterback. I mean, we just got young guys all over the place, and they're getting incredible experience. But we just got to get some success and give the defense a break. You got to give them a breath to catch their breath. But that was the crazy part.
Yeah.
Other than the opening touchdown,
12 punt possessions we had, only one of them got a first down. So we had 11 3-and-outs, and these guys hardly could get a blow and get a drink.
And to hold them to 10 points when they're averaging
amazing.
43, it's ridiculous what the Black Rain is. And so the offense is going to, they went back and watched film, even though as hard as that one is to watch. But the guys are going to learn from that. We got a great opportunity this week to find opportunities to get into the fun zone and get right back on track. The defense, is going to show up every single night if they can go back-to-back weekends like that to College Station.
They've had their 2 toughest games already.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now look at the impact this game had on our school record book. This is going to be even more unpleasant. But as I've said before, when this is the reality, we need to be able to trot these facts out and look at them, face them, or we don't have what it takes to be involved in competitive sports, and we need to spend that time doing something else. We learn from our successes and our shortcomings, so here we go. The 62 yards of total offense against College Station was by far the worst total in program history, being less than half the previous worst a total of 130 yards against Round Rock back in 2003, 19 years. The 12 yards of total offense in the second half against College Station was by far the worst total in program history, being less than one-third of the previous worst ever total of 40 yards in the second half of a win over Temple in 2008. The 50 yards of total offense in the first half against College Station was the sixth worst total in program history, so 2 of the 6 worst yards and a half totals in Cedar Park history were set Friday night against College Station. The 47 yards passing against College Station was the 12th worst in program history, but 10 of those worst 11 came before the throwing offense days began in 2015.
Back in my day.
The 47 yards figure is the second worst since that point. Sadly, the 15 rushing yards we got against College Station was not our worst ever, and very sadly only the 5th worst ever. We actually rushed for an incredibly embarrassing -19 against Vandegrift in 2019.
Are you taking sacks out of that?
Sacks have to come out of it, unfortunately.
Oh, come on now.
Don't
rub it in.
I have always disagreed with that, but that's the official ruling. The 0.7 yards per carry by the team Friday night was the lowest ever in program history in one game. Friday night, Connor Schutte had a school record 12 punts. This is a bad one. Totaling 485 net yards of punts. This season, the team has rushed for 468 yards. We had more yards in punts Friday night than we have had running the ball all season.
Yeah, that one's hard to swallow.
Yeah.
That one's really hard to swallow.
The 55-yard touchdown interception return by College Station was the third longest defensive scoring play ever against Cedar Park. Our program's only been shut out 7 times. 2 of those times have come in the last 5 games. The single first down achieved against College Station is a new school record low, undercutting the previous record fewest of 7 in a loss to Pflugerville in 2003.
Probably a team that went to state for Pflugerville.
The Timberwolves have not scored a point for 6 consecutive quarters, and that is a new school record. Excuse me. The 252 yards rushing, it sure didn't seem like it. The 252 yards rushing allowed Aiden Martinez-Brown was the third most in program history, but 149 of that's 60% of his total, was on just 5 of his 36 carries. He had virtually 0 yards after contact and went down as soon as we got to him. The problem was the big holes he ran through that often didn't see anyone touch him until he was far downfield. The 23 first downs by College Station, that was the most we've allowed in a game this season. The victory-defeat trend line on the scoreboard for Cedar Park historically is 20, both for us and for our opponents. The Timberwolves, when scoring 20 or more points in a game all time, are 191-25. Now, I didn't do that the other night. But they're also 146-11 all time when allowing less than 20 points in a game. Unfortunately, 2 of those 11 losses came in the last 2 weeks, giving up only 13 to Consolidated and 17 to C-Stat. College Station had virtually no passing attack. Part of that's thanks to these guys here tonight, completing only 16 of 36 passes for a meager 3.49 yards per attempt. This was the lowest yard per attempt and completion percentage, only 44, of any opponent this year. The Black Rain defense has only allowed 2 touchdowns in district play, 3 games. Both came on the opponent's first possession in the opening 3 minutes of those games, Eastview and College Station. The last 3-game period where the defense only allowed 2 touchdowns came back in 2015, and something happened in 15.
You got a state championship-ready defense right now. These dudes are getting after it.
This is a championship-level defense.
They get after the football, and, the passing stats for College Station, that was the thing. If you could just bottle up the running back, which virtually they did on, again, 60% of his carries is where he got his yardage. So
3.2 yards of carries.
We did a good job of swarming to the football, just that, coming out of the game thinking you're on defense, second, thinking you're getting a little break and it's a surprise onside kick. An opening touchdown on that possession, I understand that because the boys locked up from there. It was just offensively not being able to get anything established. The offensive line, there was no pocket for ARP to throw from, but at the same token, there was opportunities for ARP to stand, not try to throw like off of a back foot, really just try to throw strong in the pocket and trust his guys that he's got to deliver some of these in the face of contact because, But on the back end, too, if the receivers aren't going to be able to get open and find anywhere to go with the ball, it just makes it difficult. But, you got through the meat of that schedule. So everything is looking up from here. I mean, and the beautiful thing about it is that you got out of all these tough games without injuries. So everybody's healthy right now. Let's just keep riding that. And again, you just got to watch this one for sure.
All right, here's some of the other scores last week. Buda Johnson 20, Austin High 13. I watched it on television. It was an awful game by two awful teams. Westlake 66, Anderson 17, Vandy 57, McNeil naught. Cedar Ridge 27, Westwood 16, and that's good because Cedar Ridge, unfortunately, their only previous win was us, so I'm glad that that's no longer true. Weiss 51, Copperas Cove 20, Dripping Springs 67, Aiken 6, Temple 44, Waco Midway 10, Harker Heights 42, Hutto 24, Lake Travis 49, Del Valle 7, Cedar Ridge I got that one wrong earlier. They played Westwood. Waco University 53, Pflugerville 28, Crockett 49, Lanier 14, LBJ 89, something called Austin Lassa, nothing. Liberty Hill 56, San Antonio Veterans Memorial 49, McCallum 28, Reagan nothing, Lampasas 24, Burnett 7, Fredericksburg 36, San Antonio Memorial nothing, Canyon Lake 42, Marble Falls 7, Wimberley 73, Gerald 14, Smithville 14, LaGrange 10. That is a culture war. Those two teams absolutely hate each other. District 11 5A games, we know ours. Consolidated beat Hendrickson 41-0. They had to beat us by a field goal in the last play of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Georgetown 70, Leander 16.
I'm just loving how that last game of the season is shaping up.
Glen 31, Eastview 21. Now in the category of all our X's, coach in Texas, I never get that out quite right. Unfortunately, the man we know as Brad Willard suffered his first coaching regular season loss ever.
Yep.
Mount Vernon fell to Winsboro 28-14. What can you tell us about that one?
I mean, behind the 8-ball, lost his starting quarterback coming into after the second game with an ACL, so they've been just going, running the ball a lot. And Winsboro is a tough team. And
ranked 7th.
Yeah. I mean, they're still cheaters, so it is what it is.
Ah! Spoken like a true partisan. Brandon Smith is the coach at Prosper. They had a bye this week. Chris Ross, Lucas Lovejoy team opened up a can on Princeton 70-0. Josh Mann's Rouse team got their fourth loss of the year, falling to Belton 43-20. Rouse, this was supposed to be a good year for Rouse, and they're 2-4. Tyler Legacy, Joe Willis lost to Rockwell Heath 35-14. San Antonio Pieper, Nick Rogers' team lost to Tyvee 54-30. Absec's Barbers Hill team over Baytown Lee 43-14. So our guys went 2-4.
Yeah, some tough losses. And Rouse quarterback Mason Shorb decommitted from UTSA. Saw that. Pieper Piper, that's just a fun one to say. So shout out Nick Rogers. It's going to turn up for you.
Now there are two great games coming up in the Austin area at 6A level this week that I would go to if we weren't working our game.
Mm-hmm.
Number 16, Dripping Springs. Number 2, Westlake. Both of them are 6-0.
That's going to be a great game. I think Westlake's going to dog walk them.
And then we've got 17, Vandegrift, who's 5-1, against 19, Round Rock, who's undefeated somehow.
Vandegrift is going to roll them.
We probably should have beat them, and they're undefeated and ranked 19th.
We play Round Rock.
This was the only team that beat Vandegrift last year.
Well, we play Round Rock back right now. I bet you we get that game too. But Vandegrift, I think, has their way with the Dragons.
Here's our district standings. College Station, Consolidated, and Glen are all 3-0. Georgetown's 2-1. We're 1-2, and then Leander, Hendrickson, Eastview all 0-3. And here are the games besides ours for the other teams in District 11 5A this week. Glen 5-1 and 3-0. They visit College Station, who's 5-1 3-0. College Station wins by 4 or 5 touchdowns.
Sounds about right.
Consolidated is 5-1 and 3-0. They visit Leander, who's 3-3 and 0-3 and falling fast.
I'm thinking that over/under's at 35.
Georgetown's 4-2 and 2-1 visits Eastview 0-6 0-3. The Battle of Georgetown.
Oh, mercy!
Georgetown wins that one handily. All right, here are the results for the 4-11 5A teams we have yet to play. Actually, we'll just do next week because we're running a little bit behind. Hendrickson lost to 5-2 Belton, 27-34. Not bad. Belton is 5-2, only lost by a touchdown. They lost to 3-3 Killeen Ellison, 34-7. Their only win over 2-4 McNeil by 1 point, 28-27. In district, 3 losses. All of them to good teams. 5-1 Glen, 38-28. That's not a bad score. The other two are They lost to 4-2 Georgetown, 70-28. They lost to 5-1 Consolidated, 41-0. They have beaten no team with a winning record.
I mean, I would just say don't overlook these games still, though, because this
Yes.
is the new age Westwood. Back in my day, Westwood was that team that would
Yeah.
trip us up on random nights, and it always happened on Halloween.
I'm just saying, no, we're not playing Ohio State and Alabama in the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
Stuff that should be winnable if we take care of business. All right, before we move on, I've got a small rant of sorts. I was watching an NFL game, and from the quality of play, I guess you could say it was only technically an NFL game. Both teams are incredibly bad. It was Houston at Jacksonville. I don't know if you all seen any of that. The Goldilocks quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, whom I thought was incredibly overrated at Clemson, is at best a ho-hum quarterback. His last 4 plays with the game on the line were abysmal. 2 poor choices for targets and then 2 badly thrown passes to guys who are open, and so his team loses to the winless Texans, who always manage to beat Jacksonville anyway. Then they sent us to Washington and Tennessee just in time to see the D.C. genius head coach Ron Rivera throw his challenge flag, claiming that a pass called complete was incomplete. Happened right there in front of him. Okay, the replays were close. It was late in the game. His team was on defense, and maybe he really needed that pass to be incomplete. No, he didn't. The pass came on 2nd down and 1 out to the right flat and went for no gain. So win or lose that replay, catch or no catch, it was going to be 3rd and 1. He lost and burned a precious timeout that it turns out his team needed at the very end. How do stupid people ascend to become NFL coaches? Coaching's far more than snarling at players and making them run. It takes a heck of a lot of energized matter between the ears, and this is not the first or sadly even the 39th time that we've seen absolutely bonehead decisions by NFL coaches. I'm certainly not going to claim to be a coaching, to be coaching material myself. I'd have no idea how best to analyze game film, motivate players, teach them how to tackle, read defenses, but sure as dog shit, I wouldn't do what Ron Rivera did. I've always thought that where I could help a football team, Josh, is to be a guy that is given veto power. Walking beside the head coach maybe 2, maybe 0, maybe 4 times a game. I lean in after he makes a choice to do something and say, no, we're not going to do that. Now, I may not have any other great idea what we should do in that situation, but I often find that I know what we shouldn't do. Almost every time, at every level of watching football, when I found myself saying, they're going to do what? What I worried about if that chosen action failed always seems to come true when it does fail. They needed my veto to save themselves. I sure could have saved Ron Rivera that time out.
Yeah, and I'm sure you would have done that. But again, Carolina Panther for life. I'll fall on the sword for Ron Rivera. Don't come at him like that. I'm just saying. Once a Panther, always a Panther. And maybe he could come back and coach my Carolina Panthers now.
Oh, I guess they need one, don't they?
Hey.
All right, now it's off to see the Willard, the wonderful Willard of Oz. Each show this fall, near the end of our first half hour, we turn the reins over to Josh so that the hot air in his balloon can take the show anywhere he wants it to go. Here's another fascinating voyage through the wonderful world of Willard.
Well, Brad, I mean, I don't know about you. It was just a fantastic weekend of college football, NFL football. I got my dad, energy going. I got to mow some grass. I mean, it was just a fun-filled weekend, and it really started at 11 a.m. when your boys racked up 49-0 at the Red River Shootout, not showdown.
You know, I'm wearing my Texas shirt today for that, and it's always good when you beat your biggest rival. It's always even better when you beat them decisively. It's always even better, when you beat the living dog fart out of them. And it's even better when you beat them like they just carjacked your mama.
Oh. I mean, and just when you embarrass them like that, and you saw the ending picture, there's the entire left side. I mean, UT side was still full where they're doing the song. Oklahoma side was completely empty. I mean, Brent Venables, 3 straight losses.
And I always feel sorry for them. When we lose, we get to come back to Austin, where we live. When they lose, they got to keep going north into Mobilehoma.
Love that. We're going to need to cut that up for sure. But still some other great games throughout the day. But if you didn't watch the Texas A&M finish against Alabama, I mean, Jimbo Fisher, the last play of the game, I liked where they went. I mean, that's their freshman 5-star receiver, and he's been making big catches all game. But just an unbelievable call at the very end of the game. They end up losing to Alabama when they had a shot. When they had a shot, yeah. Really upsetting loss for them because they definitely had them on the ropes. But the big game that happened in the Big 12, I mean, it was Kansas and TCU. Battle of
Say that
undefeated.
again. Say it again.
Kansas
I thought
and
you said
TCU.
Kansas and TCU.
Yes. Number 17 versus number 19. They were both undefeated. They were undefeated going into last game. TCU wins that one 38-31, and it was a thriller at the end of the game. Every single possession, the last 9 possessions, went for a touchdown. It was nuts. They just traded touchdowns the rest of the game.
Huh?
Yeah. So a really exciting weekend of college football, but then also going into the Sunday, some great football also for Dicker the Kicker.
Yeah.
Had a great game winner in his first game for the Eagles, and in the post game, Nick Sirianni giving him some love.
Great job. Cam, that one feel a little bit better than Oklahoma, Texas?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, Jalen.
Do you think that felt better than Oklahoma, Texas?
I don't think
Your
Jalen
first
would
NFL
say so.
kick? I mean, it was a game winner, though. But Oklahoma, Texas, I don't know about that. But then it was great, too. You heard Jalen Hurts soundbite at the end, as he was a former Oklahoma Sooner.
Our kicker made ours, theirs didn't. Dicker the kicker from UT, how about that?
Love that he gave him his flowers. So, I mean, just the Philadelphia Eagles got a great thing rolling right now. My Carolina Panthers, I'm not even going to talk to them. Oh, wait, I'm already doing it. Matt Rule fired, thank goodness. I mean, 3 years, but, I mean, that's the American dream, getting paid $40 million to be fired.
But you liked him at Baylor, right?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
I mean, that was still too soon for the Willard crew, because we were a part of the Baylor system. So we weren't, still a part of that yet.
Okay.
But Baker Mayfield sprained ankle out for a couple weeks, so it might be looking up.
It might be looking up.
It might be looking up for us. But this week, I mean, there were so many entries for Stupid Is as Stupid Does. But you got to give the cake to the Thursday night game between the Denver Broncos and the Indianapolis Colts. That was one of the worst football games I've ever seen. Russell Wilson just making some boneheaded mistakes. And you got to love Richard Sherman just kind of giving it some emphasis in the post game on Amazon Prime.
Big boyed him and said he's a little boy, like he's not former defensive player of the year. Then you know what Gilly does? Man, it just triggered me. It's just like, oh, flashbacks. On the final play, you got to run the ball again. Like, I wish I had Marshawn up here. Like, 1 yard. You need 1 yard. Run the ball. Run the ball. CT.
It's triggered.
All he has to do is run the football. Like, necessary criticism. I'm not, I've said enough criticism for him, but god dang it, run the dang ball. Like, learn from your mistakes.
Wow. I definitely was giving it some emphasis, but, I mean, everything in Denver not working out right now. Nathaniel Hackett, I mean, for Russell Wilson to not see that rub route open on the right side at the very end of the game to close it out, it was just a terrible game. And Russell Wilson, you still get 2 more primetime games. We get you in London. You better get it figured out.
Are you stupid or something? Mama says stupid is as stupid does.
That may not be the only time he's on Stupid Is as Stupid Does.
I know.
Unfortunately. All right, we're going to take a short break, and when we return, our guest, the defensive line. So stick around. You're listening to Timberwolf Night in America live from Alzer's Barbecue in the heart of Cedar Park right here on the Vype Live Network.
You know the Alzer family. They've been involved in Cedar Park sports for years, just as Alzer's Barbecue has been involved in Cedar Park cuisine for years. It's one-of-a-kind, authentic Texas barbecue. Brisket, turkey, chicken, lamb, terrific sides and sauces. It's sheer succulence. That's Alzer's Barbecue, next to the CVS on Cypress Creek Road, just west of Old 183.
What is Vype Live? Vype Live is one of the largest and most respected broadcast and live stream networks in the state of Texas. Vype Live broadcasts any sport you can think of for youngsters of any age, from Pee Wee and Pop Warner to high school, club, college, semi-pro, and beyond. We also broadcast plenty of academic, fine arts, and community-related events as well, and now as partners with Flow Sports. Email us at info@vypemedia.com to find out more. Vype Live. We bring your teams to you.
A premier real estate brokerage in Central Texas, Mungia Real Estate's innovative buy-sell process results in their listings selling faster than the Austin average. Their attention to clients sets Mungia apart from other brokerages, with creative marketing strategies, savvy negotiation skills, and a commitment to hard work and excellent customer service. Whether it's residential, single-family, multifamily, condos, commercial, or vacant land, Mungia Real Estate knows the Austin market and connects buyers with sellers every day. and they do it with professionalism. Mungia Real Estate at 512-922-4267 or mungiarealestate.com. That's MUNGIA.
Army Ant Moving calls Cedar Park home. They are Cedar Park movers that you can count on. Army Ant Moving stands above the rest. Their reputation speaks for itself. They've received the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 2 years. Their staff is professionally trained and certified, so you can be assured that your cherished household possessions are in good hands, whether you're leaving, arriving, or just relocating to the Cedar Park area. Call them today for a fast, free, and competitive moving quote at 800-497-5828.
Makes you just want to march across the field.
I'm telling you, man, feeling the vibes.
You know, and we're hearing that song more on TV this year because Kansas is having a good year. That's Kansas fight song we're using.
Who would have thought?
And our band plays it better than theirs.
Definitely.
When I hear their bands, I think that's not that's a bad version of our fight song.
Yeah, that's
ours is a better arrangement.
That's what happens when you got the back to back state champs.
All right, welcome back. Episode 8 of Timberwolf Night in America 2022, live from Alzer's Barbecue here in Cedar Park. I'm Brad Cohn, joined by Josh Willard. Les Clary, our QA tonight here on the Vype Live Network. And now our first guest tonight coaching our D-line, and it's Curry Reed. How you doing, Curry?
I'm doing very well, thanks.
Beard power. You got a little Samson thing going there with that. How long have you been working on that one?
Since we got quarantined a couple years ago.
Nice. Oh, it's a 2-year growth of beard, huh?
Yes, sir.
That's good. Do you trim it at all, or is that pretty much?
I trim it every couple weeks, just a little bit, try to shape it a little bit, make it look nice and thick.
Go through and make sure no hummingbirds have built a nest
Right.
in there. That's that sort of thing. A little soup stringer going.
Right.
So,
Leftover
Coach,
spaghetti.
your D-line, the entire defense playing great. Your D-line doing its job. What do you think is the biggest strength of your defensive line this year?
Really, you know, when people look at us, we're undersized. But I think our willingness and capability of just outplaying people. Like I tell the D-line every week, you got to be willing to play harder than they're willing to play the entire game. And I think, you know, for the most part, we've done that throughout this season. And we've held up fairly well to some to some very good offensive lines.
You know, something I should have started with, and I usually do, is since our fan base turns over by about a quarter every year as people go out the top and come in from the bottom, give a brief rundown of your playing days, high school, college, how you got to Cedar Park as a coach, that sort of thing.
I've started at high school at Amarillo Palo Duro. My dad was an offensive line coach there. Then my dad got an offensive coordinator position at Dalhart High School. I graduated from Dalhart, and I went on to play at Southwestern Oklahoma State University. I played D-line there. And then I went to school to become a pharmacist, and about halfway through, I decided it wasn't for me, and so I called my dad. But I didn't know what I was going to do. My dad said, "Get your degree, and we'll get you alternative certification, and I'll get you a coaching job. We have one coming open." And so for the past
Thanks, Dad.
11 years, that's been it. And actually, I know Coach Quintero from Amarillo Palo Duro. He was a coach on staff there as well. And then I coached with my dad for 2 years. I left, went to Jacksonville for a year. My dad got the head job, athletic director job at Dalhart. Went back and worked with him for 3 years. And Coach Q called and said, "Hey, we need a D-line coach." He said, "Would you be interested?" And that was when Chris Ross was at Red Oak, and I went over there. 2 years with Coach Ross, 1 year under Quintero, and then Quintero got the Cedar Park job and asked if I was wanting to come here and see what it's all about. And it's been a great experience, and my family surely enjoys it.
What do you think separates out of all your stops this Cedar Park community?
I would say the student section and really the band. When I tell people about Cedar Park football, obviously they know Cedar Park is well known and they've had a lot of success in the past. But I tell them that the game atmosphere and the pep rallies, I said, I've never seen anything like it. I said it's probably a small scale Division I college atmosphere.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just amazing, our game now. We've gotten so spoiled to it through the years, we don't realize that it's not the same other places.
Yeah. That's what happens when you're winners.
Well, Coach, what do you think, we asked you what the strength of your line is. What do you think is a thing that would be a weakness that they need to work on the most?
Really, I would just say experience. out of all the guys, I think we have one guy that actually played D-line for us last year. Everybody else is coming from different positions.
Wow.
Aiden Briner came from linebacker, played a little running back. Grayson Alex played a little running back, and he played some D-line, a little bit off and on with the JV last year. Caleb Castro played offensive line and a little bit of nose guard, not a whole lot. Sharia Shukla, he did play some defensive line, and then Dylan Tam played D-line as well. So I would say inexperienced at the position, but you wouldn't see it when you show up to watch us play.
I mean, like, to the average fan, though, talk about the importance of getting these guys ready to go with only 3 down linemen. Like, how important it is to win their matchup.
Right, and a lot of times, with just a 3 down, we're getting double teamed a lot. I just tell them, hey, you got to win your one-on-one matchups. We've got to squeeze gaps, and we got to take away daylight and force those running backs to run wide.
If you're getting double teamed, that frees up somebody on our defense to make a hit, too.
I mean, and the outside linebackers have been cleaning up because of their ability to take bodies out of the play.
Right, yeah. Well, Coach, we appreciate you. Got anybody you give a shout-out before we get into the players here?
We'll get a shout-out to my wife. I asked her to tune in tonight.
Oh,
so
hey.
What's your name?
Whitney.
Whitney. Hello, Whitney. I'm glad you're listening.
Oh, my bad, Coach. I didn't mean that.
All right, Curry Reed, the coach of these guys you're about to hear from. First, we're going to have Caleb Castro step in here.
Caleb, crowd noise like COVID times, baby.
Yeah. Are you senior, junior?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior?
Yep.
And he mentioned you a minute ago. There's not too many people that have done this before. And so give us your path to becoming a defensive lineman.
Well, all the way through middle school, even freshman year, I played both ways, O-line, D-line. And last year, I gravitated more to O-line. But during the spring, they switched me to full-time D-line. And I've just been stuck there with it.
And for D-line, there's tackles and nose guard in our 3-man scheme. What are you?
I'm the nose guard.
Nose.
Yeah.
There's big shoes to fill there. We've had a lot of really
Jeff
good
Peden.
nose guards. Yeah. A lot of guys who've gone on not only be nose guards that were great football players and go play college football, but we've had guys who are heavyweight state wrestling champions and stuff like that. Man, it's big shoes to fill. Do you wrestle at all?
No, I'm not a wrestler, but I'll fill those shoes easily.
Heck
good.
Yeah. And you have been.
Yeah.
I mean,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, no, just like, what in your mind does it take to be a defensive lineman?
A lot of it's mental. Like, you just have to have that want to go out there and kick them all 4 quarters.
Yes. Mentality-wise, I feel like I'm a defensive lineman, but I like to keep the jersey clean. I was a slot guy.
To me, it does look – I think that's why we had so many good wrestlers from the D-line. It does look a lot like wrestling. Every play, you're trying to fire off and grapple with somebody and throw them aside. And, I can see how it would turn somebody into a good wrestler. What do you think is your own best strength as a nose guard?
Probably I use my size to my advantage. I'm usually a lot smaller than them, but I see that as a good thing.
How tall are you?
5'9".
Okay.
And what's your weight?
230.
So leverage is a key for you then, right? Knowing where to hit someone, where to grab somebody, where to bring them off balance.
Yep.
How often do they hold you?
Oh, every snap.
Every snap!
Call that.
They'd never listen, though.
Mm.
None of them.
All right, you got anybody you want to give a shout-out to, Caleb?
Probably Reed Vines, one of the middle linebackers.
Yeah.
Dog.
It's my dog.
And do you have anything in particular you want to say? You're going to be on this show. You have something you wanted to get off your chest? Anything you want to say?
I'm hungry.
You're in the right place.
Good thing we're at Alzers.
Good thing we're at Alzers. All right, Caleb. Thanks a lot. Caleb Castro, the junior nose guard, our first player guest. If you'll go ahead and give the headset mic to Aiden Breinert. He's coming on here. And Coach Reed said a minute ago that Aiden spent some time playing running back.
Whoa.
Other positions as well. So, Aiden, what other positions was it you've been playing before you got to the D-line?
I was playing some running back. Put me in at tight end during the spring. Tried me out there. Played linebacker on JV. And then moving to D-line just in the spring.
Now, it's okay. You can be honest here. I know you're a D-linesman now, and your coach is 2 feet away from you there behind you. But of those positions, what's your favorite? Which one, if you could just make your own choice, would you play?
I like D-line. I'll be honest.
There you go.
I just like that I'm in the action every play and I'm going against somebody and being physical every play.
And are you a nose guard or a DT?
I'm a D-end.
D-end, rather, yeah. So do they usually use you on one side in particular, or do you go to both?
I usually play left side, but I can play right side when needed.
What's your favorite thing about playing out there? What does that let you do?
And I just feel more comfortable outside on that side. I've grown up playing on that side and feel more comfortable playing the left side.
Do you like it better when they're trying to run the ball at you, or when you're going to go after the quarterback and try to sack him?
I like squeezing the gap, so I like when they run the ball. I get to get up in that guard or tackle's face and squeeze the gap.
Just bring it every play. I love that.
Aiden, in your estimation of the entire defensive line, who is the best singer?
Caleb Castro.
Caleb Castro. Should have had him go a cappella here a few minutes
Does he have
ago.
a go-to song?
I think I know of.
Okay.
Got a song, Caleb?
He's just a walking radio station.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Aiden, what's your favorite moment so far as a Timberwolf?
I think securing our first win. I think it was a really big excitement moment for us. You know, starting off 0-3 and then being able to get our first win was a big confidence booster. But I think just having fun time with the boys during practice and fighting and having fun is just the best time about it.
You know, I was on a team that didn't have a very good record either, but that's not what I remember all these years later.
Yeah.
I remember the guys
Yeah.
and the camaraderie and certain stories on bus rides and running through locker rooms. And so that's the stuff that you'll stay with you for years, is your camaraderie with all your friends.
Yeah, that's the best atmosphere. Is just the family. You know, it's such a great bond at Cedar Park. Everyone gets along and jokes with each other, and we all laugh and have a great time. I think that's why everyone wants to play for us.
Got any shout-outs you want to give anybody?
Shout out to Davo Williams, my big boy, and then shout out to my boy Aaron Nambo as well.
Aaron Nambo, yeah.
Two offensive linemen, wow.
Yes, sir.
So, Josh, you have the question that you like to ask. Let's ask him that about the offensive line.
Because truly, like, at the end of the day, like, my team, we won district, beat Lake Travis.
Yeah.
Humble flex. They beat us by 1 in the 4th round, so that sucks. But the best looks that we got sometimes were during the week. Like, going against your team, like at Cedar Park, you're good. So who on the offensive line and one-on-ones do you got?
I can beat.
Yeah.
Munir Alzer for sure.
Okay. Shout out Alzers. Shout out Alzers.
What about who beats you?
You got to have a flip side of that
Who
coin.
you got to work harder?
There is a flip side.
I think Davo can use his size against me pretty well.
Yeah.
I think that's one of my weaknesses I got to work on for sure is the pass rushing. But
All right, thanks a lot. Aiden Breinert. You junior or senior? Junior.
Let's
okay.
go.
I like all these juniors
got
on
some
this
dogs
team.
coming back.
Yeah, I like all these juniors on this team. All right, Aiden, if you'll hand it to Henry Wicker, the Wicker Man. So, Henry, I got to ask, of course, it just kind of seems obvious. Have you ever had that nickname against you, the Wicker Man?
I can say I have not.
You have not?
Yeah, it's a new nickname.
How could they miss that opportunity?
What does it mean? I don't even know.
The Wicker Man. It's a movie that's been made twice about some society that lives on its own on an island in Europe, and to assuage the gods, they build this giant wicker man and burn him.
Sounds
with
sick.
somebody inside of him as a
Burning
sacrifice
Man.
to the gods.
Cool.
Wicker
Sounds
Man.
like a festival.
Mm-hmm.
So, how often do you get Henry Winkler?
A lot.
That one you get a lot, yeah. With cone, I always got ice cream cone or nose cone or cone head, something like
My
that.
brother's nickname was Donut, and they were like, what are we going to call you? And they called me Donut Hole.
Donut Hole, yeah.
It could be worse.
Yes, that's true.
So, Henry, you junior, senior?
I'm a junior.
Oh
Junior
my gosh.
again? And where do you play, inside or outside of the line?
Well, I used to play tackle, but now we've had some injuries happen, so I've now had to come play nose. So.
Do you like one better than the other?
I'd say I like both evenly.
Good.
Yeah.
Well,
Very
those
PC,
kind of
very
challenges,
PC.
or what keep you sharp, and learning more than one position, of course, keeps you sharp too. What's your favorite moment of being a Timberwolf so far?
It's I don't know, it's just the team, being a part of the team. I feel like this year we've just kind of had like a sense of togetherness more than we did last year. Like everybody, I feel like, doesn't have, like, they don't not like somebody. I feel like we'll all hang out together,
Camaraderie.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. In your opinion, Henry, who is the best dancer on the D-line?
The dancer?
The best dancer.
Definitely Gray Alex.
Gray
Ooh.
Alex. He's the one who's not here 96
Yeah.
or something,
Yeah,
right?
he's
Okay,
yes,
but
sir.
how does it say his name in the roster?
Grayson.
But I heard he likes to go by Gray.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Gray
See,
apples.
these are things I got to remember on the fly.
Yeah, I'll have to change that.
Please
so when
do
you
it.
read it, we'll take the
I'm from
sun
North
off
Carolina. Whatever I read is what's going to happen.
I'll take note of that.
Hey-o.
All right, Henry, a junior, so you got a little while to make these kind of choices, but what are you thinking about after high school?
Well, right now I've kind of looked at like a mechanics program because I really like working on cars. So,
Can hook you up with this guy right here.
Nice. Yeah.
He's the dispatcher. Is that what they call you? Service writer at Computer Age Automotive right down the road
nice.
here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Knows his stuff, and he sure could use guys who want to work on cars too. So now, what gives you that? Is that something that runs in the family? How do you go there?
I'm kind of the only one, you know. I just I've always since like a very young age liked putting stuff together, taking it apart, and as I've grown older, getting like my driver's license and stuff, it's kind of worked into cars. So
that's awesome.
Have you worked on any car projects?
Yeah. Well, right now, I'm kind of building up my car. So I have a Mustang that I like to mod up. And
What year model?
2012.
2012 Mustang. What color and all?
It's white. Yeah.
You got it out here?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, don't drive away before I go out
and see it.
All right.
God, you're picking up chicks, aren't you? You're so much cooler than me.
All right, Henry. What's your favorite subject to study in school right now?
Probably physics.
Oh, I love that. Who's the physics teacher?
Mr. Voss.
Mr. Voss. What subject do you dislike going to the most?
Probably math.
Who's that teacher? Just kidding.
You got anybody you want to say, give a shout out to before we move on?
I want to give a shout out to John Woodall. You know, he's a part of the attack team, so he gives us great looks on the offensive line. So
good.
This is how our defense is, a lot better this year. So
I was a scout team warrior. I gave the best looks to the Black Rain.
I was a scout team quarterback when I was a freshman, going against varsity guys trying to kill my ass.
Shout out Henry for giving him a shout out, though.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All right, Henry. Thanks a lot. Henry Wicker, Jr., currently defensive tackle on the D-line. Now we got two more to go. Dylan Tam is next. Dylan, come on in. The only veteran of the show. He was on last year as well, and so Dylan's a veteran of this kind of thing. Coming around to grab the thing right now. So Dylan, since you're the veteran on the line, Coach Reed was saying you're the only one who's done it before. Does he turn to you to be some sort of a captain of the line or a leadership role for the D-line?
Well, he certainly expects me to know all the stuff and get everyone on the right track because, from last year's point, we wanted everyone to be combined together and, have a big family and go forward with that.
So what's your favorite moment so far on the Timberwolf football team?
I say just nothing out of school or weight room or football, anything. Just mostly just going out, socializing, or eating dinner. Those are just sometimes the smallest moments are
it's a big
the
part
bigger
of it.
moments of your life.
Yeah, no, some of my best memories too are the team dinners and stuff like that.
And speaking of that, I think you guys had your D-line dinner tonight, right?
Yes, sir.
So describe that. Where was that? What did you eat?
That was at Aiden Branner's house, and we ate at burgers.
Ooh.
Were they cooked on the grill locally or ordered out, or what were they?
No, they cook it on locally.
Oh,
you a mayo guy? You a mayo guy?
I'm a mayo guy.
That's a good guy right here. We got a good guy right here.
All right, Dylan, another important question for you about your teammates. Who on the D-line is the best liar?
Castro.
Nice.
Castro's the best liar.
Well, I want to ask the senior then this too. I mean, my class was the first one that started those morning practices. We're smarter than the Heat. We don't need to do that. Who's the last one ready in the morning?
I probably shoot club, I'll be honest.
Okay, hey, that's okay.
He's
that's
up
okay.
Next. He can answer that.
That's
right. In a moment.
You can defend your honor.
Who's the first one ready to go?
Me.
Let's go.
As a senior should be.
Yeah. FIFO, first in.
Filling the role. Filling the role. Got anybody want to give a shout out to?
Give a shout out to Nambo. Hard worker. Make me work every day in practice, and he shows it on game day.
All right. Well, Dylan Tam.
Dang, second shout out for Nambo.
Yeah.
What a night.
When somebody likes him. Somebody's like him. All right, Dylan, thanks a lot. If you hand the microphone headset over to our next guest, our final guest, Shaurya Shukla. And the first thing I want to ask, is for you to correct how I pronounced it. Say it the way you want to say it.
Sharia.
Sharia.
Yeah.
Like S-H-A...
S-H-A... Sean.
Sharia. S-H-A-R-Y-A, like that.
Sharia.
Right? Sharia. I'm going to start spelling it like that, so I'll say it right.
Thank you.
It doesn't matter.
I'm a monkey see kind of guy.
And Shukla.
Yeah.
Sharia Shukla. You're a senior?
Yes.
So you and Dylan the only seniors, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll be together in the trivia game here in a few minutes, all right, against the juniors. And what position?
Defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle. Called your name a few times this year, making some plays. What's your favorite play you've made so far?
Back when I got that strip tackle against Eastview, it was a pretty good moment for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that one. Oh, my gosh.
And it was at home in front of the home fans.
I know. I wish I
There's
had a
nothing like
moment like
Gupton.
that in high school. I was a DB just tackling guys who were running. So I didn't get any moments like that. Real momentum changers or anything.
I dislocated my shoulder on a chest pump, so there's that.
Sharia, since you're a senior, what kind of plans have you got for after Cedar Park High School?
I want to get my major in mechanical engineer and then get a minor in software engineering or computer science and engineering management.
What school in particular, or are you just not ready yet?
I'm looking at UT, Texas Tech, A&M, Stevens Institute of Technology, just wherever I get into.
Good luck. I'm from the IT school at UT, computer science. So good luck.
Thank you.
Class of 1929.
1929. 83.
Okay. It's kind of close.
Sharia, do you have any brothers? It seems like I've seen the Shukla last name.
I had a sister
A
who graduated in 2019.
Did she play?
She played basketball.
Basketball.
That's how you would know.
That's how I knew. I do the basketball voice in the Timberdome as well. All right, so what is your favorite class now at Cedar Park High?
I would say I'm taking a digital engineering course.
Love it.
And it's my favorite. You know, it's a small class. Got all my friends in it.
Love it.
Teacher.
That's cool.
I say this a lot, but, we're often impressed at what guys say are their favorite classes or what they're going to do. It's always more impressive than I think it might be.
Yeah, it actually makes me depressed. I feel like I should have done something differently, but that's okay. I'm glad everything is, trending in the right direction. So, coming up for this week, gotten through the meat of the schedule, what do you think is like the focus for this defensive line group coming into this week?
I'd say just don't let them run through the middle. We got to put pressure on the quarterback and during pass plays, and just let create moments for linebackers.
God, y'all been doing that every single game.
That does seem like the design of our defense is to have the D-line soak up as many O-linesmen as they can. Love to see two different guys get double-teamed because we got linebackers flying over the place when that happens.
Yeah.
It just seems like that's your design, right? Free up those linebackers to make hits.
Yep.
Love it. All right, Sharia Shukla, got any shout-outs to give anybody?
Just my family, mom, dad, and sister.
All right.
Nice.
Dad's over here filming you.
You got to put a snout. You got to put a snout on the Timberwolf.
Put a snout on the Timberwolf. All right, Sharia Shukla is our final D-line guest tonight. We're going to take another short break. When we return, more nonstop honking of the Cedar Park football horn right here from Alzer's Barbecue on Timberwolf Night in America. This is the Vype Live Network.
You know the Alzer family. They've been involved in Cedar Park sports for years, just as Alzer's Barbecue has been involved in Cedar Park cuisine for years. It's one-of-a-kind, authentic Texas barbecue. Brisket, turkey, chicken, lamb, terrific sides and sauces. It's sheer succulence. That's Alzer's Barbecue, next to the CVS on Cypress Creek Road, just west of Old 183.
Hey high schoolers, are you interested in a career in sports media? Vype can help. Launched in 2017, our Vype U Ambassador Program is a one-of-a-kind educational scholarship program that offers high school students a chance to gain hands-on experience in the sports media field. Vype U also gives students a platform to build their portfolio of creative work under the guidance of Vype's seasoned professionals. From covering games to publishing photos, writing articles, and conducting on-camera interviews, each Vype U ambassador receives an immersive experience geared toward their interests, while promoting their own school and preparing them for their future. Email info@vypemedia.com to find out more about Vype U today.
A premier real estate brokerage in Central Texas, Mungia Real Estate's innovative buy-sell process results in their listings selling faster than the Austin average. Their attention to clients sets Mungia apart from other brokerages with creative marketing strategies, savvy negotiation skills, and a commitment to hard work and excellent customer service. Whether it's residential, single-family, multifamily, condos, commercial, or vacant land, Mungia Real Estate knows the Austin market and connects buyers with sellers every day. And they do it with professionalism. Mungia Real Estate at 512-922-4267 or mungiarealestate.com. That's MUNGIA. At Sewell, building relationships, not selling cars and trucks.
Stream is like, there it goes. Can I just come back in?
First chair saxophone in high school, my wife. Yeah? Bet she could play this.
1, 2, ready, and.
First, so junior spokesperson, get that headset on and get ready to go. And let me log it in here. Okay. So juniors, we're going to do 7 innings, 8 if it's tied, back and forth. Give me a stadium that's in the top 18 of the largest stadiums in Texas. What do you got?
Oh,
got to turn you up. Hold on.
Yeah, bump that.
AT&T Stadium, 105,121. It is the second largest stadium in the state. 105,121. So let me log that in here. 105,121. So you lead 105,000 to nothing. Seniors, give that to the seniors, and they're going to give us their guess of another large stadium in Texas. What do you got, Dylan?
I think the Texas A&M Stadium.
Texas A&M Stadium. Number 3 at 102,733. All right, A&M, 102,733. Behind by 2,388 points.
That's not that bad.
Closing the gap. All right, top of the second for the juniors. Give me a top 18 stadium in the state of Texas. And there are any stadiums, they will not all be football stadiums. Yeah.
The Globe Life Stadium.
Yeah. Globe Life Stadium. That's which one is that? That's the one that's in the Rangers playing these days, right? Yeah, that's in there. Globe Life is 55,155. Got the lead by 57,000. Second inning for the seniors.
What do you think?
Which stadium?
Which one?
The Houston Texas Stadium.
Houston Texans, NRG.
Houston Texans, NRG Stadium. Yeah, let me look that up. That's going to certainly be on here. That's the 5th largest. It's 72,200. NRG, 72,200. And they have taken the lead by 21,000 points.
That's all
All right. Top of the third with the juniors. What's your next guess?
DKR.
DKR, yes. With the recent innovations, the largest stadium in the state now. 105,213.
What's our drink on this? Here we go.
Lemonade.
Lemonade. Bushel. Ball help.
105,213. All right, you're up now by 83,545, but you've had one more at bat. Bottom of the third for the seniors. What do you got? Cotton Bowl Stadium's a good one. Let's see. It is the 4th largest at 92,100. Cotton Bowl. 92,100. 267,000 to 258,000. Seniors lead. Top of the 4th inning for the juniors. Thanks, Brad.
Oh, we're going to go with McLean.
McLean.
McLean Stadium at Baylor.
Yep.
The house that Robert built.
That is the 12th largest at 45,140. McLean, let me log it in. But it's points.
It is points. Pretty
All
sure we
right.
played this last week.
Bottom of the fourth. Juniors are up by 36,000, but yet to bat in the fourth, the seniors.
The Houston Astros Stadium.
The Houston Astros Stadium, that is, let me find it on here.
You're going to have to give me a stadium name at least 1 point. I need a stadium name.
That's okay. We'll go with that. Minute Maid Park is 15th largest, 41,168. It's enough to give them the lead.
Ooh. We got ourselves a Donnybrook.
Right now, seniors up by 4,583. Top of the fifth inning. Juniors.
The Alamo Dome.
Alamo Dome. Sixth largest in the state, 64,000.
Ooh.
64,000. All right. They now lead by 59,000.
Wow.
Okay, seniors. What's your next guess?
Texas Tech Stadium.
Texas Tech Stadium. Let's see. Let me look for Lubbock here. Lubbock. Where is Lubbock? All right, Jones AT&T. It's the 8th largest, 60,454.
Wow. Back and forth.
All right. Top of the sixth now. The seniors up by only 1,000. What do you got, juniors?
The Rice Stadium.
Rice Stadium. That is a really good guess. It is the 10th largest at 47,000. 47,000. Juniors lead by 46,000. Bottom of the sixth for the seniors, who have 2 at-bats left, and the juniors only have 1. What do you got, Dylan?
SMU Stadium.
SMU Stadium. That's a Ford
killing me.
Stadium.
He's
It is
killing me
number
inside.
17, 32,000. Not a lot.
Oh.
Doesn't give him the lead, actually.
Oh.
The juniors lead after 6 complete. For the first time, their lead comes after a complete inning of about 14,000 points. This is the last at-bat for both teams. What do you got, juniors?
The Sun Bowl Stadium.
Sun Bowl.
Elite.
We know.
UTEP,
we
the
will
Miners.
know how much they've got to beat. It is the 9th largest, 51,500.
Wow. Clutch.
So, you lead the seniors by 65-463. There are no stadiums left on the list that have that many. So you have won. But you can, let's see how many points you end up with.
That's
how much
not
you close
as
it with.
many in the seat capacity to win the game. We're talking football stadiums. You have to listen to the
we're
rules.
talking field sports. Yeah, talking field sports. All right, what do you got for your guess, Dylan? There's still some on the list, but none of them will have 65,000.
Good go, Jason.
Texas State Stadium.
Texas State, no,
That's
not on the list. Sorry.
I was going to say, that's some mad love to my Bobcats.
Some of them that were left, the Astrodome, Amon G. Carter Stadium, which is TCU, Tedecco Stadium, which is the Houston Cougars,
Rice,
Apogee Stadium, which is North Texas. Those are the other ones that were left on the top 18. All right, so the final score, 466,118 to 400,655. A win by 65,463 for the juniors. And let me say, the juniors don't often win when we split it up, seniors and juniors. It's usually the seniors. So that's
not even powder puff rules. We don't even rig it.
That's an accomplishment. All right, thanks. All right, now we've got another trivia game we're going to play. Let me get this one set up here in just a second. Also this season, a new one. We call it Steal Josh's Ice Cream. We're going to pit Josh against one of the guests. You guys choose who it's going to be. I'm going to ask each of them 3 different trivia questions that are all about sports in general. And because of his extra years of acquired wisdom, Josh's questions are going to be a lot more difficult. So whichever side gets the most correct answers gets a free ice cream treat from the Alzer's ice cream freezer right over there. If it's a tie, Josh wins because of his bigger degree of difficulty. Those are the house rules.
Bigger degree.
His bigger degree, yeah. All right, so who's going to be the participant?
In the hot seat.
Cash
I mean, just
or
know
not?
that, like, I was the youngest of 3 boys, so I was when I grew up, it was from SpongeBob straight to ESPN, like Stump the Schwab, like all these ridiculous shows. I know so much useless brain. All my brain power goes to sports knowledge. I should have done mechanical engineering, I swear.
All right, he knows how many miles my car has.
Hey-o.
All right, Caleb Castro, 3 questions. Who's the head coach of the Texas A&M Aggies football team?
Jimbo.
Jimbo Fisher is correct. A point for Caleb.
Are we? Is this like the softball questions for Barack Obama? What's going on here?
In what stadium does UTSA play its home football games?
Alamo Dome.
Alamo Dome. 2 points.
Don't overthink it.
Caleb Castro.
Don't overthink it.
Final question. Is the Round Rock Express a AA or AAA minor league baseball team?
AAA, sir.
AAA is correct. He got all of them. So Josh with a big challenge. He's going to have to get all of them to win his ice cream. So here we go for Josh. These are going to be tougher.
I love it.
For example, the first question I ever asked him in the first show was, who was the starting guard for the Green Bay Packers in 1967? And he got it. This guy knows his shit. Excuse me. Did I say that?
I love it. Oh, yeah. Get after it.
All right. Here it is. First question. Over all these years, how many times has Cedar Park played a football game at the home of the UTSA Roadrunners, the Alamo Dome?
4 times.
4 times is correct.
My team played there when we absolutely dog-walked Weslaco East.
Oh, yeah. It was like 63 to
And we had a 47-yarder field goal. I was the king of laces out. Boy, I was the holder for field goals and extra points. Bop. And so
a lot of extra points on that day.
Hey-o. But we played Weslaco twice in back-to-back years. The following year, a great game, Jackson Payne against San Antonio Brennan. In 2012,
yeah,
state championship run.
So 3 years in a row we played somebody there.
And then, shout out Jason Griffin, my boy from software sales at Hearth, from Cal Allen. We beat you boys in 2015 on the way to another state championship.
We beat everybody that year. So.
That's fine.
Yeah,
wasn't really close.
So
wasn't really close.
4 wins in the Alamo Dome in 4 games, 10, 11, 12, 15. None of the scores were anywhere near close.
I'm coming for that ice cream.
All right, that's 1 for Josh. On his way to the ice cream freezer already. Number 2, when the Brooklyn Dodgers left New York for Los Angeles in 1958, before I was born, in what stadium did they play on the West Coast?
In 58, their stadium wasn't built, so they played.
So where did they play?
Los Angeles Memorial.
That's right. The stadium the Rams were playing in. I've seen pictures of that, and it's unbelievable. Here's the football field. And they got a diamond like set up right here, and they've got a fence that's like 120 feet tall here because it's like 127 down the line and left. And then this one just went forever out to right. Football field like that.
I remember looking at those pictures.
Memorial Coliseum. So no wonder you know that. Yeah, Dodger Stadium didn't open until 62. All right, so 2 for Josh. He's just got to get 1 more, and he wins the ice cream. Who started at quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys in their very first game in 1960?
Wasn't Dak Prescott.
I don't think his dad was even born.
Wasn't Cooper Rush.
Nah.
Eddie LeBaron.
It was Eddie LeBaron, who later was kind of an announcer for them, I guess, in the late 60s.
Come on, dude. I got to give homage to my broadcasters, bro.
So Josh wins the ice cream again, 3-3 tie, which means a push for Josh.
Thank you.
Outstanding job. Are you going to get the...
Going to that Snickers bar.
Snickers bar? Yeah,
that's right.
Probably my favorite ice cream.
It's a great one. Oh, it's a really good one.
Caleb Castro, you did your job.
I've only lost
all
once.
3 questions properly. They were a lot easier questions than his, and he got them all.
I only lost once, and it was to Gavin freaking Choppa.
Yeah, Choppa's the only guy who stole his
trust me, I couldn't sleep.
All right. A preview of Hendrickson. As usual, I'm going to cede much of this to Coach Reed here, so come on over, Coach. But first, a look at Hendrickson's record. This is a team that we owe something to. They beat us last year. They had no business doing so. It was the final game they won in 2021 during a 3-7 season. It was an absolute fluke. They lost their founding coach and former Cedar Park defensive coordinator, Chip Killian, to the collegiate ranks after last season. He went up to Mary Hardin Baylor. Doug Pierce leads the Hawks in his first year as a head coach. It hasn't been a particularly good one. They are 1-5 overall, 0-3 in district. Their lone win by 1 point over 2-4 McNeil. In district play, they've lost to Glenn, Georgetown, and Consolidated. Only the Glenn score was anywhere close, losing by 10. They lost by 42 and 41 to Georgetown and Consolidated. They're scoring some points, logging totals of 27, 7, 28, 28, 28 before being shut out by Consolidated. Since all but one of these games were losses, this means they're giving up a lot of points too. In fact, an average of 41 per game. And that is just what our offense needs. Coach, what are we going to have to watch out for from Hendrickson's offense Friday night? What do they do well?
They run the ball really well. They have a big offensive line. They're able to really push and move double teams on film. And they have a running back, I would say he's a really hard runner. And I always say a running back's good whenever he's falling forward on contact. And this guy's doing that consistently on film. So, we're going to have to play good in the run game. As far as, passing game goes, they've had a couple injuries at the quarterback position. Not sure if the kid's going to be back or not, but we're preparing for both. So
let's send the next guy out, too, with this pass rush from your guy.
Yes, sir.
Questions?
I mean, just defensively for this group right here, what do you think is going to be, their focus going into the week other than stopping the run? Is it effort? Is it, tackling the football, creating turnovers? What is the focus for this group?
The focus, for this week, and Coach Britton, our defensive coordinator, came with this. We always want to force 3 turnovers or create 3 turnovers throughout the game. And then, obviously, we want to have a 4-quarter shutout, okay? And then, obviously, 1-0 at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Thanks, Curry Reed, our D-line coach and guest tonight, giving us his take on what we've got to watch out for and do well this Friday night against Hendrickson. Our first time in the GUP in a while. Feels good to be home.
Oh, I love getting on that play-by-play, baby. It's going to be a lot of fun back at the GUP in our normal routine. Those 2 long road trips, we did exactly what we needed to do. We played great games, couldn't come out with the W's, but I know that we put the state on notice that, you got Cedar Park on the schedule. Don't look at our record. Just worry about the matchup that's in front of you, because Cedar Park, and that's just the mantra that it's been since that Chris Ross era, is control what you can control. Trust in the system, buy into the coaching, and just play for the guy on your left and right. Don't worry about anything that the other team's going to do, because you're trying to impose your will offensively and defensively. And so excited to have the D-line here in the house tonight, because they've been doing an unbelievable job this entire season, but really from that Round Rock game. I mean, this defense has just hit a different stride. So continue that going into this week, and do. I mean, you're supposed to impose your will on certain teams, and you're supposed to have those wins like you had against Eastview. This is another one of those teams. You just got to execute and do what you're supposed to do.
All right, once again, the Booster Club sponsors this year for 2022 Covert Ford, Alzer's Barbecue, Sewell Land Rover and Jaguar, Mission of Hope, Life Family, Reap Financial, TJ Lewis Real Estate, Raising Canes, Kathy Tam Photography, Mungia Real Estate, ROI Sport Performance and Physical Therapy, Family Emergency Room at Lakeline, One Stop, Rudy's Barbecue, Army Ant Moving, Majori's Firehouse Subs, and H-E-B. Be sure to visit our new sponsor, the Family Emergency Room of Lakeline, 24/7 to see a board-certified emergency physician for affordable care of all of your minor to major emergencies with upfront pricing and no surprise bills. So that's it for our 8th episode of Timberwolf Night in America. Friday night, the Timberwolves finally back home in the friendly confines of the GUP as they take on the Hendrickson Hawks. If you can't be at the stadium, watch us on the Vype Network. Thanks to our several guests tonight, Curry Reed, Caleb Castro, Aiden Breinert, Henry Wicker, Dylan Tam, and Sharia Shukla. Tune in next week when Josh and I will host the quarterbacks. For our QA Les Clary, for my own personal Chris Collinsworth, Josh Willard, this is Brad Cohn signing off. You've been listening to Timberwolf Night in America on the Vype Live.